how might the senator from California play here in North Carolina come this November? Our Washington Bureau reporter Kevin Fry asked folks on both sides of the aisle and joins us now. So, Kevin, what do we think?
Right. So, Tim, I mean, she's a rather historic pick in the sense that if she were to be elected, as has been said, she'd be the first female vice president, first black vice president, and first Asian American vice president. So a lot of history there. At the same time, from what we are hearing, those who are supporting her are very much hopeful that she will energize folks in North Carolina, for example, whereas those who are critical of her believe her history and some of her positions on things could be a detriment. The Democratic ticket is now complete. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris making their first public appearance after Tuesday's big announcement. Davidson College political science professor Susan Roberts says Biden's pick could help energize black voters, potentially key in North Carolina. Data shows after big showings during the Obama years, black voter turnout in North Carolina dropped off in 2016.
African Americans and people of color didn't want to be taken for granted in 2016. And this says you will not be taken for granted.
Democratic Congressman G.K. Butterfield says he is thrilled with Harris as the VP pick. He calls her tough as nails and believes together Biden and Harris can rebuild the so-called Obama coalition during what he believes will be a big turnout election.
She can penetrate into millennials and college students. She can go into the unaffiliated voter category and appeal to white women and white business people because she understands their issues.
Across the aisle, Republicans locally and nationally are blasting Harris as too liberal for the battleground state, citing, among other things, her backing of a Medicare for All bill on Capitol Hill. During her own campaign for president, Harris waffled on the health care issue. In a statement, the North Carolina GOP called her an out-of-touch California liberal. A spokesman for the Trump campaign, meanwhile, weighed in like this.
Just like that, Joe Biden's complete and total move, complete and total capitulation to the radical left is complete.
But Roberts says she's not convinced that liberal label will stick or resonate, given Harris's resume, including her time as California Attorney General.
I think she is going to play on, being a prosecutor, being an attorney general. And if you look at how she worked on the Judiciary Committee and her relentless questioning, I think people like that savvy.
Now, for his part, G.K. Butterfield, when I asked him about this liberal label, he said that's simply just not accurate, not fair, calling her a moderate to progressive politician, Tim.
Kevin, to me, still one of the big questions out there is, it's obviously getting a lot of attention now, but come November, will it make any difference?
Is it hard, or is it easy enough for me to cop out of this question by simply saying that we simply don't know? At least for the next couple of days, obviously, this is going to be the big talking point leading into the DNC convention. One could argue that perhaps more so than other years, just because of the age of both of the top of the ticket candidates, that perhaps the vice president is something that people will be thinking about if, God forbid, something were to happen to Donald Trump or Joe Biden, depending on who was elected. But at the same time, there's questions about as to whether or not vice presidents really have any impact at all on the ticket, especially since both of these entities, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, are arguably pretty well known, pretty well defined, at least in the public perception. And then there's just merely the fact that we're in the middle of the coronavirus. And really, a lot of people just care about that.
Yeah, no question about that. Kevin Fry in Washington, thank you, sir. And he mentioned the convention.